Before we get into the video today and this practice, just a quick little clip I'd love you to watch.
This seems easy enough.
Sign these. Do you have all of this? And you'll also have to jump through that.
Nimble makes finance faster. Get a Nimble personal loan up to $25,000 from 8.99%. Comparison rate from 10.31% per annum. Don't jump through hoops to have the renovation of your dreams. Choose Nimble.
No, that isn't our new sponsor. We aren't against sponsorship, but it probably wouldn't be with these guys when we do. This isn't exactly the type of product we're endorsing through the Transformation Trek. Having said that, I do want to talk about what this commercial says about us. I do want to talk about what story this commercial assumes we're living in. And you might be like, dude, it's just a commercial, relax, you don't need to analyze it. But have a bit of a think about what this commercial assumes about you. It assumes that the person watching this that will buy their product doesn't want anyone to get in the way of their dreams. They're renovating a house, they're looking for a loan. And so rather than going a slow and more methodical or maybe careful process, they want the money now. They want their dream house now. They want that renovation and that perfect living room or renovated kitchen or brand new bathroom now. No process, nothing can wait, nothing will hold them back from their dreams. And that's fair enough. Nothing should hold you back. Nothing should ever hold you back like a mere 25 grand on high interest rates. That should be nothing. No, the man's not going to get me down. The banker man's certainly not going to get me down. Did you see that pile of paperwork? No way. You deserve this. You've worked hard for this. They can't stop you living your dream. They can't stop you getting what you want. You see, this is the type of thing they're assuming about you. They're telling you a story that you need to get everything you want when you want it. You got to hustle through life. You got to take what you want and grab it. And what you want is right now. Don't worry about later. Don't worry about how much you're actually going to need to pay off later or in the long run. Don't worry about that. That's for future you to worry about. They're telling you you just want everything you could possibly want. You want to consume it all now. Dreams don't take work. You can get them now. You deserve that. Do you understand the narrative that this is shaping? And you might be like, yeah, but it's like a 5-second ad. That's not going to change the way I see myself. Sure. What about millions of those ads over a lifetime? What about every time you pause in a video or a TV, on the radio, or on your phone, or a text message on a website? What if that's the same or similar narrative being shown at you? Every, 30 seconds, you're being sold that story, that narrative, that you're the center of the universe and that no one should stop you getting what you want, what you feel like, what you crave. I reckon if we had a system where that story, that narrative was being preached at you every 10, 20 seconds, well, I reckon our world would look like it does now. I reckon we'd have a lot of people upset that they're not getting what they want this second. The world would become a world where we don't ask what do people need. We ask what do I want? And that's because we live in that story. But what if we didn't? What if there was a different story? What if there was a different narrative? What if there was a truer, more ancient story? Not just one book, but what if it spanned over 66 books? Over 4,000 years or more, telling a story about God's interaction with man, even though man is broken, even though man wants to go back to the just, I want everything now story, and I'll pay later, pay lots later, pay in my own death and destruction later. What if that was our story, but God kept intervening? And what if the 66 books known as the library that is the Bible told us a story of God's redemption, restoration, and healing? What if it told us and gave us a purpose that wasn't just for like the next 10 seconds, wasn't all about hustle and working, but it was about building something good and beautiful over time, both within us and in this world and for others and for and with God. And what if he was powering us to do that? What if it was a story about his Spirit powering us as communities, as people together to create good and beautiful things? What if our identity wasn't set in what we just brought with borrowed money, but in who we are, who we were created to be in God? What if that was our identity? And what if we weren't just thinking about the next 2 days and what we wanted, or the next year and what we wanted? What if we had an eternity as a timeline? That's the type of story, right, that as described, or as it describes itself, like a two-edged sword that would pierce truth straight through the holes of our cultural sermon, straight into our cultural story and narrative, and tell a truer story, a more ancient story. The Bible is a gift. The Bible is a truth sword. The Bible is a story and a narrative made up of different genres: poetry, prophetic writing, witness accounts, that all tell one big story about God restoring and redeeming humankind and giving us a purpose in Him. What story are you living out of at the moment? What's stopping you opening, reading, listening, discussing, and wrestling with God's story? How do you think those two stories, what happens when they meet? Discuss that if you're watching this with others. Comment below. What do you think when God's story meets this world story? What happens? I know for one thing, the world tries to kill that story, but it never can, because it keeps coming back. It keeps being revived and it keeps restoring. Can't be killed. And what's it look like to open the Bible, to wield it, to use it, to tell that story, to let that story be told within your life? That's what we want to open up this practice with. That's what we want you to discuss this week. Kick that around, and I really look forward to hearing how you're looking at the passages in the practice guide, the questions in the practice guide. Let us know what you think, and I'm really looking forward to exploring this next practice of wielding the word. See you in the next video.